Hello, my name is Jim Petersen. I live in the Black Hills of South Dakota in Rapid City. And I spend 4 months a year or so, and have for the last 12 or 13 years, various places around the world doing mostly environmental projects to try to improve the planet I live on. Well, I was really fortunate in being able to retire young when I was 55, which was a decade or so ago. I've always been interested in environmental projects, maintaining the environment, saving the environment for our children. So I started out in Acapulco, Mexico, doing reef survey, constructed wetlands to keep polluted water off the coral reefs, that kind of thing. We were trying to take basically a little mom and pop tourist trap sort of environmental center and turn it into a world-class organization that had worldwide reach and worldwide recognition. We've succeeded really in doing that. And we started to have a lot of international conferences on various environmental issues, sea turtle husbandry, alternative energy, a lot of things. And it's been a great environment to bring college classes down, to do various studies, and so on. So we've basically coalesced the academic community, the scientific community, the environmental community, and into creating this organization that has had, like I said, an international outreach and been very successful in reaching out not only to those communities, but to this huge tourist community that comes down there every year. As a matter of fact, for a number of years, it was the fastest growing tourist area in the world. So a huge impact on a very delicate ecosystem, and believe me, there wouldn't be an ecosystem down there if our organization, the one I work with, Central Ecological Acamall, and several others like it, hadn't intervened. I just returned from India. Of course, I took the opportunity to spend several weeks touring India, just playing tourist, but the object of the trip was to go to Dharamsala, India, which is where the Dalai Lama lives, and to work on a water project. And basically that was to install institutional-sized water treatment units in Tibetan refugee schools and monasteries to basically protect the Tibetan refugee population, particularly the children, from waterborne diseases, which are rampant all over India, but particularly during the monsoon. I was working with an organization, Law, who operates out of Dharamsala, India, mostly to support Tibetan refugees. This water project, they started in 2010, and it sort of skidded to a halt, like most projects do, due to lack of funding. So my part in that project was to raise the funds, procure these water treatment units, and install them at the various schools. Once you get involved in that environment, you start networking, and I've met people from all over the world through various conferences. So the possibilities for a person to go out and try to make a difference on the planet are innumerable. It's just a matter of what you are interested in, what you like to do, and if you feel like you have an obligation to leave the planet in a better state than we found it.
Well, I've known Jim and his wife Bonnie for about 8 years. He cares so much about people and about unfairness, and he's very generous with his time and his money, and his family supports him, and so it's been great. And we could be out in the golf course or playing bridge or kind of isolating in our 60s. But I think Jim represents the true future for the world, is people that have the wherewithal, they have the wisdom now, they have the sophistication and the energy and the focus on helping fellow mankind, both here in the United States and abroad.
I have seen a lot of battle damage around the world. I was in the military for 26 years, and I really was inspired by my oldest daughter, who dropped out of the University of Minnesota to be a tree sitter in the Pacific Northwest and try to protect the old growth forest. So I looked at my situation, and I was very fortunate to be able to retire early, and I figured, what am I going to do with the rest of my life to make it worthwhile, to make this planet a better place than it was when I arrived, or at least do my little part to improve it to the extent possible. And so I looked around to find projects to engage in. And the reality is that you, no matter what your skill set is, and I don't care what it is, it's IT, it's engineering, it's anything, there's a place for you to come out and go to what may be an exotic place to you, but really it's not. I mean, what I find worldwide is that these places aren't exotic places. This is reality out there. Sometimes it may be cruel, sometimes it's beautiful, but it's harsh reality. And it's a reality we need to embrace and bring our skill sets out there so that we can improve the lives of our fellow human beings and the health of our planet in general, because there's a lot of forces that are working against both of those.